Listeners, feel free.
You know.
We all,
You like to All right, we'll call this meeting to order. Please join me for a pledge. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Join me in a brief prayer. Lord, please guide us as we contemplate the county's business today. Please help us act in a way in keeping with your teachings. Please keep all those that protect us safe. In your name we pray. Amen. Roll call.
Commissioner Thomas?
Here.
Commissioner Kirschner? Commissioner Paradis?
Here.
All right. I will accept a motion to approve the digital audio-video recording of the previous board session from Thursday, January 9th, 2020. Second, roll call.
Commissioner Paradis?
Yes.
Commissioner Kirschner? Commissioner Thomas?
Yes. All right. Any adjustments to the agenda at this point? Okay, we have guests. First up is Brittany from Destination Seneca County, and she is going to give us her report.
Just go right there. Yep, okay, awesome.
She gets right beside the popcorn.
Ooh, I like this place. I'll be eating the whole time. No, I will refrain until after I'm finished. So for the good of the order, my name is Brittany Cook. I am the marketing director of Destination Seneca County. That is the visitor services arm of the Seneca Regional Chamber of Commerce and Visitor Services. Sometimes, that helps to clear things up. All right, well, I will get right into our year in review. The first thing that I want to talk about is our website. That was something that I hit you guys up with last time I was here. We were talking about making some updates. Well, in the spring, certain things happened that our website actually went down, and it went down hard. So we ended up going with Spire, like we did with the Tiffin Chamber website, and they created a beautiful website for us that matches the Tiffin Chamber website. So we do have two separate ones, tiffinchamber.com and destinationsenecacounty.org. Between our newsletters, websites, and social media, we're reaching between 3,000 and 8,000 people, including our Facebook paid posts. That's about 125,000 different people per month. We also have repeats visitors, which is also great for our numbers. Our best is September because of all the different events going on in the fall. To continue on our website, it does match the chamber website, and some of the features include our comprehensive calendar. That's one of the things that we're really focusing on, that we worked on last year and we're continuing to work on this year. Making sure we have a calendar that has everything that would bring visitors to the community. It also links to the chamber website, so I can input an event on my calendar and send it straight to the chamber website. That's a benefit of having the same format, same back end for both. Another thing is our event submissions. Essentially, people can go onto our website and fill out a form, and after a brief check from either me or Deb or one of our interns, we can get those events up there. So if we didn't know about something, if somebody's planning a fundraiser, we also have the opportunity to just put it on one or the other. So if it's something that somebody puts it on Destination Seneca County and it fits more with the chamber website, we can make that change. Another big thing that we have that has definitely been fruitful is a link on our website to request a visitor's guide. We had that before, but it's definitely more clear on this new one, and we have had a lot of requests. They can either get it sent to them or they can get it an electronic copy, and we get their information and we can send them our newsletters per their request. Another addition to our website from this past year was our holiday event guide. We had included that in years past, but we had, with the comprehensive calendar, a better way to show all of our holiday events, and I think that was very successful. I did include the brochure that we always put together that could be printed, but it was also an electronic copy online. I also have the opportunity to put our newsletters online. I could before, but this is definitely a more streamlined process. So if you're not signed up for our newsletters, you can still view them online.
So the comprehensive calendar, is that, are the universities participating in sending you information? Is there still work to be done there? Or?
There's definitely always work to be done. Usually it consists of me finding it. Heidelberg definitely sends me the calendars. To you, I have the link to their calendars that I check every month. So it's still definitely something we're building up.
Okay.
But Heidelberg School of Music usually sends me their calendar events.
And what about the athletic department?
In terms of like
Is that part of the calendar?
I do not put the athletic, like all the sports on the calendars, but we do have links, I think specifically on the chamber website, to the schools. And we've had it in the past. I'll have to check to make sure we do have that, just because that kind of gets bogged down. So we make sure that that link is available.
Mm-hmm.
But because there's always so much, the upkeep is
Yeah.
kind of hard. But they have that option to go look to the schools. That's the best kind of way that we have found, especially once you start adding so many events, it starts to get a lot.
Yeah, there's a lot that goes on in the community.
Yeah.
And that's a good thing.
Yeah, absolutely. We've found that.
Showcase
Yeah, we've found that, especially in trying to create this comprehensive calendar, that there also are so many different avenues of finding that information.
Yeah.
So that's the biggest issue, I think, that we're trying to hurdle into this year.
Do any of the other surrounding areas
Mhm.
share calendars? We have links because we're trying to get people
hmm
outside the county as well
Right.
to come here.
Yeah.
So is there any
In terms of other
Yeah,
organizations in the county,
outside the county?
not as of late.
So you would find them and then you would put them in?
Right.
Okay.
It would have to be manual. Yeah, with the way the website's set up, it would have to be manual because it's proprietary setup. So,
Okay.
but that is a very good idea. I'll have to start looking into it. So the next thing that I will hit on, if we're done with the websites, is the Tiffin 200, the bicentennial celebration. I've been working on the committee. We are looking at March 25th, 2022 as the Tiffin bicentennial date. My role in the committee is marketing for the year-long event. Right now, we're in the information gathering phase. So one thing that I wanted to mention was our event survey that is going on right now. You can find it at the link. It's bit.ly/Tiffin200. We're looking for ideas for events. We're looking for, what people are going to want for souvenirs. Whether there are certain organizations already planning events for 2020. Because one of the things that we're focusing on is trying to link in other events and making them a Tiffin 200 branded event. So we're not planning a bunch of different events, but we can have those events like the Heritage Festival. We can link up with that. But again, right now we're gathering information and looking forward as to what kind of events people are going to
Are
want.
you taking the lead on that committee?
I am not. Mary
Okay,
Lewis
so-
is actually in charge.
Yeah.
It used to be the committee that was figuring out what the actual date for the Tiffin 200 was and has morphed into the
But
bicentennial committee.
You're part of that.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, and actually Audrey Flood and I are the marketing subcommittee, so we're making sure the information gets out. Again, the next part is the 2024 Seneca County Bicentennial. This is definitely in its preliminary stages. The date, I know it's not a joke, it is April 1st, 2024 is the Seneca County Bicentennial. Holly, Stacy, and I have actually started a little bit of work on that in regards to, Holly came to me about a barn quilt trail, which if you've ever been over to Fostoria, and there's a couple other counties in Ohio that have been doing it. Ashtabula County has one. Essentially, they're just painted squares that people put on either their barns. Some of them are freestanding. They can go on houses, fences. This is a project that she was really passionate about, and we decided to link it into the bicentennial for Seneca County. We are working with Fostoria on that. They have started their own barn quilt trail, so we're just trying to expand that at this time. I do have some cards with some more information that I'll leave with you guys. We are looking for more help It's only a few of us right now, so I'm kind of more focused on the bicentennial, whereas Holly has been looking more into the Barn Quilt Trail part of it. So we are definitely looking for help. We have been speaking to the Tiffin 200 committee as well, and kind of trying to, work with that group. And my idea at this point is also linking in events of that year and making it a year-long event.
Have you talked to the people at OSU Extension?
Not yet.
They have a meeting today at 5.
Okay.
So I'll bring it.
Perfect, awesome, thank you. As much as Holly has mentioned to them, that's pretty much where we're at. Yep.
I got it. Thank you.
The next part is our 2020 visitor guide. It's not quite done yet, so stay tuned on that. This is a mock-up that I have right now for the cover. Again, that should be completed, I'm hoping, in the next 2 weeks, and then it will go to distribution.
Yeah, that's good.
I'd like to thank Lisa
I like the
Williams
picture,
for that
yeah.
picture. She actually gave me permission. She had posted it on Facebook, and I asked her for permission, and she sent me a bunch of photos that I'm kind of going to be hoarding throughout the years so I can use them for covers, because they're definitely beautiful photos. So that will be distributed throughout the county and to some other counties. I'm already getting requests, so I'm amped and ready to go to get that sent out. Some things of note is the Ohio Travel Pavilion. That is a company that we contract with, that her job is to go to trade shows. And what she does is she has all these tables where she just puts out guides. So that means I don't have to go to, she goes to about 12 to 15 trade shows a year. And we have the opportunity to be represented at those shows. Actually, this year she came to me, they put together plastic bags for their customers. And we are a bag promoter this year, which is new. I'm really excited that we have that additional advertising. Other locations that we're sending them out, we usually send out about 25,000 throughout the state, is the Ohio Turnpike. So if you ever stop at one of their roadside stops, you'll see our guide. AdRack, which goes to some of the interstates, and then again, Ohio Travel Pavilion.
Is that going to evolve, do you think? I mean, we've kind of been in brochure rack for a long time, and it seems like an expensive method of distributing information. And I mean, is that long term?
I think it's going to stick around a while. I mean, it's still a printed medium, and whatever information we collect, I use to update our website, so it's all comprehensive. I don't see it ending anytime soon. But again, as it goes, we'll morph. I mean, it's pretty easy to switch. Right now, the brochure definitely works for us. I know some of them have switched to magazine size, to rack card size, but with the amount of information that we have, and listing some of our chamber members, and all of our advertising, the brochure really works for us. But I don't see it changing within the next 5 years at least.
Yeah. Seems like you could do it with a card and a QR code,
Yeah, but some people still don't have smartphones, and we try to accommodate. So that's one thing about the website that I really like, is it's definitely more mobile friendly now. It's so much easier to use on your phone. So it's something as simple as Googling it and looking it up.
Yeah.
So trying to keep things streamlined for now, and as we go, if we need to make changes, we can.
Yeah.
Some additional updates. Our continued event promotion. That's one of the biggest things that we're doing right now, specifically with Facebook and our electronic billboards. As I kind of mentioned before with our Facebook, we've had extreme success in promoting our events through boosted posts. Some of our advertising money is going towards that. I have actually gotten information from people saying, I saw it on Facebook. Specifically with the Heritage Festival, some of the different parts of the Heritage Festival, people came because they saw it on Facebook. So not only is it helping us promote these events, but I'm also getting tracking information back from it. Again, our small business class at Tiffin University, Deb and I go every year and talk to this small business class about DSC and the chamber and what we do. I think that sometimes the younger kids don't always know what the chamber does. So giving them that information is helpful, and we answer a lot of questions about why you should join the chamber, why you should get involved with the Chamber and Visitors Bureau, what benefits that they can provide when they start a new business. Another item is our Heartland Travel Showcase. We go every year. We talk to tour operators and we encourage existing relationships with some of the other DMOs and the CVBs. We've had come out with a lot of good relationships, and it was in Detroit last year, and it will be in Lansing this year. To continue the Heritage Festival, the CVB is definitely a big part of that. I am serving as a trustee, and I also organize the ball. I do all of the marketing alongside several other members, and I actually teamed up with the pageant this year with the ball. That was more of a personal thing. I took that on because I've always loved that part of the Heritage Fest. But teaming up with a pageant was a great success for us. We turned it into the Queen's Heritage Ball, and we had a lot of good input for that. We had a lot of visiting royalty come to the ball this year. So I'm hoping to continue that relationship and hopefully get more interest in the pageant as we continue. I mentioned it kind of with our website. Our website went down in March of last year, and we had a couple other chamber members talk to us about it. Specifically, Alan Irie came to us with this issue. So we had an intern at the time who created them a whole new functioning website, and I would say it was probably the most extensive one that we've had so far. So I'm really happy with how that turned out. And then the last thing is the Seneca County History Connections. We are working with the Tiffin Glass Museum to create a portal on the DSC website that will list historical locations, tours, villages, parks, historic markers, and bike trails. And that was with the money from the pipeline project. So they're putting together videos that we can include online. So a few numbers for you. Unfortunately, we do not have the new numbers for this year since this is just how we landed on the presentation schedule. So these are the same numbers as you saw last year. We will be getting that in June. So the next time I come in July, you'll have those additional numbers. The one thing of note that I want to point out is in a 2018 tourism economic study reported that the total economic impact of visitors to Seneca County resulted in $90 million in sales, $11 million in taxes, $27 million in wages, sustaining over 1,500 jobs.
Mm-hmm.
So this is our lodging tax from 2014 to 2019. Again, we do not have the fourth quarter yet, just has not come in yet. It is a gradual increase. I'm very happy with how our numbers have been over the past couple of years. It has never jumped, but it has been a gradual increase.
So, a question,
Mm-hmm.
increased revenue, we would have to increase that, right?
Correct.
And what is the capacity in the county, and then what is our, are we 90% full, 80% full?
I have no idea yet. We are meeting with our hotels hopefully soon in the spring as we're talking about kind of the next step as our lodging tax increases. One question that we are answering that was brought up in our chamber board meeting the other day was, is the lodging tax increasing because more people are coming or if prices are going up? So that's one question. Yeah. And I kind of talk about that in my plans for this year, is to getting better tracking numbers and just more information regarding our lodging tax.
Do you have a regular meeting with the hotel?
No, we usually do not. It's just usually with scheduling is the hard part and seeing when people are in town. So,
because what would be really handy is if we could create a small survey,
mm-hmm.
and as people are checking in or checking out, just ask the question, "What brings you to town today?"
Exactly.
And that would help us focus.
That's literally what we're looking to start with our hotels, and that's one of the things we're going to bring up. Yeah, because that's the biggest issue that I face in advertising is I don't know where people are coming from or what they're coming to do.
Right.
So that's one of the biggest things that I want to do for this year is better tracking and figuring it out. Because once we figure out where people are coming from, we can target with Spectrum, we can target with Facebook, and get more people from the area. You know, not waste our money doing locations where people aren't coming from.
Yeah.
And then this is just a breakdown of lodging tax revenue by facility. And I can provide this to you guys since it's kind of small.
Mr. Bradwell, you want a copy?
Yeah, sure. Can't see it there.
Sorry.
So another aspect of us that we do, this is pretty much primarily my job, is the advertising of events and locations. So the next few slides are just some examples of what I've put together for this past year. Specifically, most of our print is through Ohio Magazine, and they do spring, summer, and fall, winter calendars. We always do an ad in that book, and we have two. They're called enhanced listings. For example, the ones listed there. Essentially, it's almost kind of a pop-out event ad, and then we also get a picture included. Most of the events are usually just the information, so we do have that extra bit. The Ohio Travel Guide annual publication goes out every year. We always do an advertisement in that. Ohio also has an annual publication, and we have an ad in that. And we do our Facebook ads, specifically event boosting, and I do have a list of those of large events throughout the year that we boost. So those are a few examples of our enhanced listings. Here's a couple examples of the ads that we've been putting in. Most of the ads that I put in resemble the one on the right. I usually change out the pictures depending on the event or the the season. And I have a few that I cycle through. I like to have that brand recognition, so when people see that, they know who we are and what we're doing. And I always try to make sure that there is at least one photo from Fostoria. Here are a few examples of our billboard program. We have 2 electronic billboards in town, and these are some examples of the billboards that I've put together over the past year. So I'll just do this really quick. We've had great success in this program as well, and I like to be able to use it for our events. It's an easy way to get it out to the community. So I'll go into our 2020 plans. I've got some recurring projects and some new things that we're going to be hitting. I did talk to you guys. The one big thing I actually don't have included on this list is the tracking. Definitely meeting with the hotels and some of our bigger attractions, and just we need to get a better idea of who's coming and why they're coming. Like I said, it would make our advertising so much easier. We can be more targeted with what we're doing. Another thing that is not listed on here is I've been meeting with Michelle Cochran at in Fostoria and their CVB, and we're trying to work together on some things and make sure whatever we're doing in tandem. Fostoria is part of Seneca County, at least part of it, and I think that relationship we've definitely been growing over the past couple of years and working together to make things a lot easier. I would like to thank her for her work on our guide this year. She provided me with a list of all of the Fostoria businesses and attractions and restaurants, which we had not. I usually would have to look for that information myself, so she gave me an extensive list this year and cut my work in half, so I'm very thankful for her work with that. Couple things that we're doing this year that is something that we've done over the past couple of years, the Heritage Festival, including working with the pageant, the bicentennials, right now gathering information, kind of starting the preliminary plans. I know this sounds crazy, but the 2021 visitor guide, that's going to be on our list for this year. I'm hoping to start that pretty much as soon as the 2020 version is printed. Again, our main focus is advertising and event promotion, and our Christmas events. Some advertising that we're doing in this year that we had not before. The Best Driving Vacations 2020. That is with Columbus Monthly. That will go out to 70,000 people. We are listed, we do have an advertisement in that. That's something we haven't done before. I'm really excited to see what that brings. Again, we started Facebook boosting in earnest this past year. One big thing that we had the opportunity to do this year was the 2020 co-op. It's with Tourism Ohio. They we've done it a couple times in the past. They've basically opened it up to attractions, to CVBs like us, to pay half of one of their offered programs. A lot of the times in the past, most of the things that they offered were too big for us. We didn't have a lot of options. This past year, they opened up a ton of different cheaper options, smaller things. For example, Yep.
Example.
For example, the things that we're doing this year is eBlast. It's through the Ohio Magazine program, but all of the email addresses that they've collected through their readers, they send out eBlasts to. So basically, an email that we own, that we write the copy for, that we provide the ads for, and we have maxed them out for us for this year. They'll send 2 to 3 eBlasts per month from April to October. So my plan is on the months that we don't have any huge events, it's going to be brand recognition, and the months that we have a lot of events, it's going to be those like, Heritage Festival, Rail Fest, Oak Ridge, and they pay half of that. So the other option that we've picked up this year was the search engine marketing. Basically, it's when you see those paid posts on Google when you search something. I actually just approved that the other day. We're going to be on that all year, and they're going to pay half of it. So I'm really happy with that co-op this year. We never really had those options before. So, and then the last option, the last advertisement that we had the opportunity to do this year that we hadn't in the past was the Destination Toledo Guide. There is a full-page ad that was marketed to Northwest Ohio CVBs where we all shared it. So we're doing a co-op for that. And it will be in their visitor guide, so it will be distributed through whatever their distribution is.
Is there any consortium that covers the North Coast, Bellevue, Port Clinton, Oak Harbor, Mulva Head, Sandusky?
The best one would be Lake Erie Shores and Islands, but sometimes we have a hard time because we're so far south. That would be the best one that I could suggest, and we
Yeah.
do work with them as well.
Okay.
Yeah. Any further questions?
Any questions from our local people here?
And I can send you both.
Yeah, thank you.
Yep.
Me too.
Anything to add?
Yeah, no, good job, Rick.
Thank you.
Anything to
Yeah,
add,
Brett,
Jen?
no, we're good. Thank you,
Yeah?
thank you.
Floor is yours.
Oh,
You're giving him the floor. He gave me the floor.
Okay, thanks.
Jimmy, are you working?
Yeah, we meet periodically
Do a
on a
few
couple of
things.
things. Yeah, we had a meeting a couple months ago about website stuff, just kind of figuring out where we can find some synergies, et cetera. So we're in contact, yeah.
We talk.
And do the villages, Republic has their thing, and do they come to you, Deb, you're not,
If they post it on Facebook, I find it.
okay.
So that tends to be the easiest way, and
And they came in and talked to me before they did their things last year, and I gave them suggestions
Jimmy, you
and
might
stuff.
wanna make sure proactively, because I get it, I mean, I'm not sure it's your job to go out and get everybody's event, but I think there are places within the county that have things going on that might not think about contacting you.
and that's a learning curve.
And
Right, we
so
have to fill
from a
that.
county pushing out, whether it's regional president or you, or as we go around,
Sure.
I think we wanna,
Yeah, we can talk about that and how we can best do that.
yeah. Okay, thank you.
Of course.
Good. Let's talk about health and wellness.
Better go get the oranges now, right?
Yeah. The chocolate and the popcorn.
And the popcorn.
Gonna do a little yoga or something.
We have Ginger and Tasha.
Yes, good
And
morning.
we have a new program.
I'm new,
Well, new parameters, right?
possibly.
Awesome.
I'm Ginger, work out at Job and Family Services, and this is Tasha from the auditor's office. We do the wellness program for the employees of Seneca County. And we are just asking for the extra incentive piece of our wellness program to be renewed with one change. So we have tiers that people can earn 3 tiers of points to get extra money off their premium differential every year if they do. So 600 points is required to meet the program. That's through SEPCO and on the web portal, Interactive Health. Yeah. In the past, we did, if they reached 800 points, they got another 7% off their savings, and then if they reached 1,200, they got 8% off their savings. So we would like to propose that we move the 800 up to 900. Make a little bit more difficult for people to meet that, so we would have a 600, 900, and 1,200 point range for that. And she's got the figures.
Currently, we have 275 people on our insurance. 114 of them are participating in wellness. 62 of them are employees, 52 are employee plus spouse, employee plus children. They make up, or family, they make up the difference. An approximate savings for an employee is approximately $400 a year. For a family is approximately $1,100 a year. That a family could save.
If you do it all.
That's an average.
Yeah.
It costs the county approximately $4,000 to $5,000 a month, $55,000 a year.
So we're not spending any more money, we're just raising the bar
Correct.
of what, I mean, the max we could spend is what we're spending now. And if we raise the bar and people don't hit that, then we would be spending less.
Yes.
Because they would be paying more. And so there's a feeling that it's a little easy to kind of get that credit.
Well, I think the 600 points,
Or-
more people do, but then to go above, you just have to do more activities, so we
We-
thought we'd
yeah.
move the 800 to the 9, kind of
So
push them a
that's-
little.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, for me, it's the reporting of it. It's, you know, doing the activities and remember to report them.
Apparently Shane doesn't.
So, you know, the good news is
Yeah.
that people are
That's
taking
great.
care of themselves, they're participating, they're doing the right things, and it's all about managing our own health so that it manages the cost of the insurance. So, you know, you guys have done a great job with this.
Absolutely.
It's really a well-run program.
So the premium, the discounts, that's set for this year, then the health insurance committee will review all this, right, in like September, October?
Before then, yeah.
Before then, this summer maybe?
Mhm.
Okay.
Well,
So,
and they have to complete the points, it's for next year's insurance. So they have to actually complete their points for the following year.
I see, yeah, right, right. What do we need to do?
Usually we do a resolution with the amounts and the programs. Didn't have it ready today because we weren't sure which program, but we could have it ready for next week if that's okay. We'll put the points, and we usually attach the program to the resolution, and we can do that next week if that sounds,
Yeah.
you guys are on board with
Yeah.
that.
Has this been to the health insurance committee?
We talk about it every year.
I mean, they've already recommended
We
it out.
postponed on doing it at the end of the year last year just because of budgets and how
Yeah.
things were kind of tight last year. So they were working on it for January.
Okay.
We wanted to wait till the beginning of the year to kind of see how budgets were settling, and how the health insurance fund was doing
Sure.
before we would present it to.
Just so everyone's clear, so this new threshold will be in place for 2020. And depending on how the employee falls, that'll affect their share of the premium in 2021.
Correct.
Got it. So we wanna get this out sooner than later. Okay, so can we
We'll
do a
pass it
motion next week?
Yeah.
So you're good with,
Yeah.
I'm good with proceeding and
Yeah. No, I like it.
formally.
Can you give us a couple of the big point getters? Do you have that? I was looking for it, I didn't find them. I just want Bill and Tyler to know to start working on their health.
Did you see the bike and Shane's office?
Probably the.
It's just for show.
Yeah,
He hasn't rolled it
What you
yet.
get.
yeah, like the big ones that
Oh,
are
sorry.
required.
Story of my life right there.
Well, like the
The-
114 people that are
That's
doing it have
rollerbladed
to go
down here.
through
There you
their
go.
doctor or clinic.
The health screening.
They have to go through the health screening, so that's the most important part. They have to,
Here, I got
I
another
mean,
one.
that's where they're gonna find issues with the blood work.
There's-
Yeah, so it's the health screening is the big starter on that.
Correct.
you know, the annual routine stuff, cancer screening, dental exam, those kinds of things. Participation in a sports league, donate blood, that's a nice one.
We have volunteer work on there.
Volunteer work. Workout, Tyler, you're gonna have to get in shape.
And I've
Employee
issued
sponsored.
18 new fobs in the last 2 weeks for our fitness
Okay.
one.
Great, I was wondering how that was doing since we've kind of opened the parameters.
Bill, I don't know what lifestyle management program is, but you better clean out the closet, bro.
Yeah, there you go. Nice job.
Yeah, thank you.
Good job.
Thank
Way
you.
to
And
keep
we also
things
every
going.
week get an email blast from Ginger. It's our Fitness Friday, and it just encourages us to be active, gives us tips on ways we can improve our life and our lifestyle, and all that helps not only us be better and happier employees, but also a monetary help of keeping our insurance costs down, which we have. We've been successful.
We have.
So.
Yeah. Thank you.
And the good thing is we get a grant from Sebco that helps offset the cost of, we pay both Ginger and out of a grant from Sebco for this health, or for the wellness program, so,
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, so we just purchased some equipment for the fitness barn.
Yep.
End of last year also.
Yeah,
Some new equipment
good.
with that grant.
I like it. Ginger's like trying to sit down. Ginger.
There I go.
All right, you guys don't need to stick around.
Thank you.
Welcome to. All right, administrators report.
I don't have anything today.
Nothing?
Well, I was working on my reports at home last night, my surfaces at home.
Okay.
So you have a report, but
Email it to us.
Yes, yep.
Okay, I have a couple things. Tony has a couple things. Monday is Martin Luther King Jr. Day, and we have a proclamation for that. I'll be on hand with Mayor Keckler. Heidelberg TU are having an event and a speaker, so we have a proclamation on their behalf. So we resolve that the commissioners hereby proclaim it Martin Luther King Jr. Day across the county. So
it's great. And you will, Shane will be representing
I will be there.
all parties. The mayor obviously can't make it. I can't make it, so. Good.
So I think that's all I had.
I want to bring to everyone's attention that we know in the county there was an accident, a bad accident at 224 and 67 a few weeks back that involved 10 people in that accident. Scipio Township and the residents over there have asked that the commissioners write a letter to ODOT and bring this to their attention. So we got with Ken Majors and obtained some accident information. We also talked to Mark Zimmerman, our engineer, and obtained some information. And we have drafted a letter that will be signed by the 3 commissioners and our EMS director, Ken, that will be forwarded to the Ohio Department of Transportation in Columbus. Request for mitigation of crashes at US 224 Route 67 Seneca County, and we'll make this public, but it's basically asking for them to come and evaluate that intersection and see what we can do to improve safety. So, you want to add to that? You good?
Yeah.
Okay. And then this morning, I attended Fostoria Economic Development meeting. It was a very productive meeting. The Fostoria, the city of Fostoria continues to make progress financially. They have a monster sewer project that they're working on with the EPA. They seem pretty positive in the fact that things are going in the right direction for the city. And so that, that was encouraging. The annual meeting for Fostoria Economic Development will be 3/19, March 19th. And so just want to comment there. I won't get into all the reports, but good things are happening over there.
Is that, on the 19th, is that a evening meeting?
That's a good point. It's at 8 a.m.
8 a.m.
8 a.m. Yeah. Yeah, that's good. That's all I have.
Well, I went to the GL Cap meeting, and Mike's been holding out on us. They feed you over there. Good food, too. You know, he's
I
like,
wanna
oh,
go on that-
I've
I
got to
wanna
go
go
to this
next
meeting tonight. So, I mean, like, good food. So, cookies. Any old business to come before us? New business.
Auditor's here, she had a request. I can let
I didn't see
her.
a people back there.
Yes. She had put in a request in her budget, but because of revenues, we weren't sure where we were at. And we kind of pulled out the equipment line, so asked her if she could come over and.
All right. What you got,
Can you
Jules?
see me okay, or would you prefer I go up there?
Can you come up, because, just for the record.
Ladies and gentlemen, our county auditor. Live.
Well, thank you. As I proposed in the budget, I am requesting additional funds to replace a 2008 high-capacity printer that we have in our office. So I think we've done well with using the 2008 printer, but I have concerns that it is not going to make it through the year. 2 years ago, I think, Tasha, it's a 2-drawer unit. One of the drawers or trays failed. So we've been operating with just one of the trays because I wasn't gonna spend $300 $300 to $500 to replace this tray. So, I stand here and I struggle because we have made efforts to go green. But unfortunately, a lot of the things that we have to generate out of our office require us to print them. We do a lot of applications or notices to taxpayers. We use it for the dog licensing and the receipts back to those owners, as well as W-2s, 1099s, monthly reporting that we need to archive. So the beauty of it is that all 3 of those funds can contribute to the purchase of this printer. So I'm just asking that.
What's the
that-
dollar amount
I propose $6,000.
from
Big.
the general fund?
No, 2,000 from each fund.
From each of those 3 funds that you mentioned?
Correct, correct.
Okay.
So I did my due diligence again this morning and got some updated pricing, and I'm gonna continue to analyze that and see what's in the best interest of the office for the purchase. But at this point, I guess I am asking out of the general fund for the additional 2,000 for the purchase of a printer.
What's the breakdown again? So 6,000, there's 3 twos, is that what it
Yes,
is?
correct.
Okay, and tell me what they are again, the dog
Dog and Kennel Fund
and kennel fund,
and Real Estate Assessment Fund.
and then general fund for 2?
Yep,
Okay.
yep. And do I need to?
So this
discuss-
is good till 2032 then?
I'm very hopeful.
I can't get a printer to
I
last
don't know that
a
I'll
year.
be here. True, true. So you gotta be conscious of the dollar amount that you're investing because we do like to have them around for quite some time. So,
Is there any revenue from printing? Do we charge for if somebody comes in and wants a copy of something?
not typically. I
Okay,
mean,
I didn't know.
in our world anymore, we send them via email.
Yeah.
But there may be a minimal where it's 10 cents a sheet or something like that, so there's not a big revenue stream with it.
Yeah, I just
Good question. Believe me, I would go for it if I could.
I do believe that.
Is that's basically your request then, Julie? Is that your
Yes,
total
yes,
request?
there were
So-
some other minor things too I had included in that email, Stacy. I don't know if I need to comment on them as
If you
well.
want to, yeah, sure. Those were
Let me
how
see if
to.
I can pinpoint them here. And I think that, do you have my email?
If I had my Surface, I would.
Okay.
This is Mike's.
I'm sorry, I should have been better prepared. So, the budgets that were submitted, I submitted it as was for general fund purposes, as was the 19 budget. Some of the lines got cut, supplies, contract services, travel and expenses, and advertising and expenses. Our advertising and expenses, that line, most of that revenue comes back because we have to publish delinquent tax bills, forfeited land sales, things like that, that we can charge that back. And so the general fund does receive some of those dollars. Some of the other things are just notices that I cannot charge back.
So there's a few things that were missed on your budget.
Yeah,
is that what you're saying? What's the-
exactly.
Yeah, when I went through the budget, because we were tightening things up, I took the last 5 years of expenses
Mhm.
through some of the account lines, so, kind of the max what you, not just yours, all departments were spending, so it was just a little bit of,
So what's the adjustment we have to make there?
I can send it to you.
I have
Then
it. It's like $2,300 without the $2,000 for the printer.
Gotcha.
So, I think the big one was travel and expenses. I may have asked for $50 additional because I have new staff that is coming in place that if there's training opportunities, I would like them to attend those.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
So-
Can we put that?
I'm not like the sheriff.
Can we put that
But we
printer in the
have
server room?
What's that?
Can we-
No. Mr. Thomas,
Too
that-
soon?
that is not efficient for us, so
Hey, I'm not
see-
saying it.
No, did we get the truck taken care of?
It's in the budget for 2020. John's getting the new updated pricing because of
Okay.
state terms, so
no.
yes,
Okay,
we
so I
are.
will reach out to John to get this.
He's
Is this the
yes,
used
on
truck?
vacation,
The
yeah.
used truck we talked about?
This is the fuel, to check all the fuel gauges.
Yeah.
He-
The weights and measures vehicle.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we were gonna
We're
get
looking
it
at
last
used one.
year. State purchasing pulled their contracts down, so they said they were actually gonna come in cheaper, which they did. So we were waiting for the state purchasing prices to come back up, so we put it in the 2020 budget, so.
And I think last year when we talked, it was more cost effective to look at a new vehicle
Mhm.
through the state pricing. With that,
So that's,
They're,
okay.
they're
I
driving
understand.
like a 1988 Dodge.
Oh, I know, but we did talk about a truck, right? It was
Yeah.
gonna be a year-old truck or something at one point.
With the logo.
No, it was a new
Yeah.
vehicle.
It was a new one? Okay.
Yeah.
Up to
All right, I'm
30,000.
good. I just wanted,
yeah, and a cap because
Yeah.
of the items that we have to transport.
Yeah.
has to
So-
be a heavy, little heavier duty one.
I mean,
Weights and
we'll have that
measures.
wrapped up by the end of the first quarter here.
Yes,
so-
that's
yeah,
right.
Okay.
Yep.
And
So-
thank you to Vicki, because she went out with Ron, my weights and measures and
That
inspected.
man?
Did
Yeah.
Did you?
So you can
Right,
attest,
sorry.
he needs a truck.
Yes, he does.
Thank you.
It's inside of the middle.
So do we need, I think we need two motions, right? Are we gonna separate the, I'm
Well, we
good
could
with
put them in
the-
the system for you next week if
Can we
that's
do
okay.
that with the
Yeah.
I'm good with the copier.
Yeah.
So I would make a motion and
We could do
Shane
it
would second
We're gonna
it.
do it.
next
Yeah.
week.
Yeah.
We'll do it next
Okay.
week and we'll
Yeah.
put it all together. Is that
And the
okay?
budget adjustments,
Okay.
put them all
Just as
through.
long as I can get fingers crossed that it'll make us through W-2s and 1099s. At this point, I think we'll be fine.
Oh,
But
okay.
you know how it is in our office, crazy
Yeah.
things
I
happen.
mean, I have no problem doing the copier now,
Right.
and for 6,000,
Well, she's got the two in the dog and kennel fund and the
right?
real estate assessment fund. She just would need.
We'll do it next week, I'm good.
Okay.
But-
If there's an emergency, I'll
Phone
communicate
calls.
that with you. But I,
No, could they get
I
it to
hope
you
not.
that quick?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, before, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Good.
Do we have the right dollar amount in for the truck? I mean, are we
Yeah.
covered?
We did 30. We did not to exceed 30. And I think the trucks were
Okay.
the different prices, whether it was a half ton or 3/4 ton, was like from 25,000 to
That's what I was
27,000.
thinking, it was used, I can't believe we could buy a new truck for
State purchasing.
25,000, but it's
It makes
through
it-
the state, it's
yeah.
used.
Makes a big
discount,
difference.
Yeah.
And I appreciate you guys continuing that discussion on it, because there definitely is a need to have a pickup truck versus a van for that type of work, so.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And Ron does a great job, so
Mhm.
Yep,
appreciate it.
yep. While I'm here, I know I have sent over the fund request to you, and you need to discuss any of that,
Oh,
or, because if not, I will take off, if that's all right.
Well, that's up to you. They had asked for an additional fund for the prosecutor's office, and you can explain it if you want.
Okay. So currently, the treasurer and the prosecutor have a shared fund. It's called 1021, Fund 1021. And in reviewing the ORC code and checking with Derek, it can be separated. They can each have their own fund, and what that fund reflects, or the dollars that come in there, are from the collection of delinquent tax. The law allows them to get a 5%, and then they each get like 2.5 of that. So we're proposing separating that, so the treasurer, for instance, would be known as 1021, and the prosecutor's, it's called DTAC fund, would be known as 1022.
They're both okay with that?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yep. And we would help in doing the appropriate moves, because I was a little late requesting this, so the budgets and everything have been set.
I gotcha.
But we're proposing doing a seamless transaction right now, so we can just move that snapshot over to the new fund.
Okay.
And Mary Jane said if we put the language in there, that you could take care of
Correct.
the transfer. Okay.
It'll just be easier with especially the VIP system for them to extract and be known as just a 4-digit fund versus, 8 other characters behind it.
Okay.
So,
Makes sense to me.
okay, thank
Good.
you.
Thanks, Julie. All right.
Others.
No one down.
Yes, I have a supplemental appropriation for EMS. This was the equipment monitor purchases that we had talked about. At the end of the year, we didn't appropriate the funds at the end of the year, so we would just have to reduce it and start back up. So they're doing a request for $206,157.15 into their equipment line. I also have a request from the treasurer, yes, yeah,
Okay.
yeah, he was in here.
You're just formalizing it.
Yes, we had to wait till after the first of the year to
I know.
get the carryover
I see.
moved over, so we just waited till here.
Okay.
I have a request from the treasurer's office, $1,000. When the budget was submitted, that line got missed, he needed $1,000 in his advertising and printing line. And I have a resolution authorizing the Seneca County Board of Commissioners to certify it's got 2019, is that correct? The 2019 County Highway System Mileage Certificate. Didn't do it at the beginning of the year, but it must be for end of the year.
Yeah.
So he's maintaining 369.644 miles of public road.
Thank you for doing that.
Yeah.
Zimmerman and staff.
I have a resolution reappointing Carl Miller to the Sandusky Seneca City of Tiffin Port Authority, term expiring March 1st, 2024. A resolution establishing the ability to dispose of unneeded, obsolete, or unfit county property by means of online internet auctions as an alternative to the public auction or sealed bids, and charging county departments, administrators, or directors with disposal management oversight retroactive to January 1st. This is a resolution we've been doing for probably 10 years now. The code says we have to renew it every year to be able to put, like on Gov Deals, they sell cars on Gov Deals, we have to redo that resolution every year. I have a resolution authorizing contract agreement with Wyandotte County Board of Commissioners for the receipt, custody, and care of Wyandotte County juveniles on behalf of the Seneca County Youth Center for 2020. Also have another one, authorizing contract service agreement with Crawford County Board of Commissioners for the receipt, custody, and care of Crawford County juveniles on behalf of the Seneca County Youth Center for 2020. And then I have the resolution establishing the prosecutor's DRETAC fund, the 1022. And that's all I have.
Okay, I'll make a motion that we accept the business. Any discussion? Roll call?
Commissioner Kirschner? Commissioner Paradiso?
Yes?
Commissioner Thomas?
Yes. All right. Anything else for the good of the order? All right, public comments. Yes, sir.
I just have a little comment on what you mentioned about phosphorus sewers they're working on. What's ever happened to the sewer coming from Nürnberg? Has that ever been fixed, or is that just fell by the wayside?
I would have to defer to Mark on that. I know they had low flow issues and they were addressing them. but-
Yeah, they were supposedly, Fostoria was receiving a lot more than what was leaving Nürnberg.
Well,
And I haven't heard anything about that for a
we
long time.
will find out. Jimmy, remind us, will you?
Yeah.
Okay, and we'll, so, I'm not sure Ben left, but the sewer in the landfill area that goes into Fostoria, Bill, I don't know if you noticed, does New Riggle go into there and then into Fostoria? I don't- or
That's
it's separate?
closed off, right?
Yeah, that's close, so I think, you're asking specifically New Riggle, right?
Well, that was an issue years ago, and
Yeah.
I never heard where it got fixed. I mean, that was so poorly put in, what I heard, I don't know.
We'll find out,
So
that's a good
deep.
question, I don't know, yeah.
I just thought of.
They are, in Fostoria, they were going to spend $10 million and create larger basins and more flow into the plant. And after really thinking it out, their plant isn't big enough. So they're now putting $13 million in the plant to create much greater capacity, more efficient. And so I think once that's complete, then they'll be able to address a lot of these issues around Fostoria. Because it was funny, after all those years, it finally hit them that the real problem is that we can bring everything into the plant, but our plant, now I'm paraphrasing
Yeah.
this a little bit, but that's kind of what's going on. And they're pretty excited about the revised plan with the EPA and the direction they're headed for the long term. So.
Anything else? Tyler, anything from the city?
Yeah, I got a few items. Quick update on the Mary. His surgery did go well. He's in recovery right now. So keep him in your thoughts and prayers, but it's going to probably take him a few weeks to heal up. Right now, Councilman Fote is our acting mayor. I'm the council president. We also have some new council members and some new faces, so if you guys want, stop up and see us sometime soon. We also, there's a new committee that was just formed through TCEP, the Entrepreneur Development Committee. Myself and a few others in the room are on the committee for that, but it's a group that came together, and we have a good representation of about 16 to 18 different committee members. It's to help small businesses, entrepreneurs, maybe the person working out of their garage, in their mom's basement, also to help with workforce development, some of the issues that we're having with employment around the community and county. This board came together to try to help remedy some of those situations, so excited to serve on that board. Also, the fire chief in our EMS just received an iOS rating. When I first got on council about 11 years ago, we were at a 4, which put us kind of middle of the pack. We just got bumped up to a 2, which puts us in the top 5% for the entire country, and top 4% in Ohio. And that, having that rating actually helps our businesses, homeowners, depending which insurance you have, you can actually get lower rates. So we're pretty happy about that, to be in that top tier. As far as the city is concerned, myself, safety services and EMS and fire have been a top priority for us. So we've been investing in that over the years, and it's really paid dividends back. So Also, some reports from the police department, crime's down right now. A few months ago, I'm not sure if you read it or not, but Tiffin was rated as the 16th safest city in Ohio, so we're very proud about that and what the police chief's what he's been able to accomplish. And another report that I just seen here this week, Seneca County was listed as one of the most affordable places to retire in the state of Ohio, so I thought that's pretty impressive. And kudos to you guys as well.
Yeah. Good. Anything from Adams Township, Bill?
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Shane. Couple things. Exciting times in Adams Township. We're the 16th of January and we have not had to move any snow yet.
The boy is coming now.
Yeah, I should knock on wood, right?
What's that Farmer's Almanac say?
Right, yeah, exactly, yeah. Had to brush that up a little bit, so. Last night we had our zoning board and appeals board, their reorganizational meetings, and everything went great there. Saturday night, we had Green Springs Volunteer Fire Department had their annual meeting and presented a nice report. And actually, I'll just leave you guys a copy of it so you can review that if you want some copies for Mike. And then this Saturday, exciting times. It's actually the 30th anniversary in Heidelberg for the Final Four ladies basketball team. So they're going to have a little presentation between the boys and a girls game here, so I think my wife might even be there, so yeah.
Yeah, why is that important to you?
Yeah. So that's all I have, so thank you. I think the boys game starts at 2, do the boys game, little presentation, and then do the girls game then, so. At least that's the report I got, so don't hold me to that. So.
Audrey, anything you'd like to report?
Yeah, lots of things in the works. Working with the Opera House in Republic, as you know, to try to get a plan moving forward to make sure that project stays, going on the right track, and just following up on lots of ongoing projects. Let's see.
That CEO thing is very interesting.
Yes,
Thanks for the invite.
very
on
excited
that,
about that. Glad you were able to join that committee and be with us on that. We're excited to figure out how to move forward with it and make sure that it's a great fit for Seneca County, but it's looking very promising and we're really excited. And we have a member briefing coming up next week. Let me check that date. That one of you will be at. That is on Wednesday the 22nd. We have a member briefing at DSUB, so we'll be seeing one of you there.
Good.
Can I ask you a question? So I will see you out at OSU at 5, right?
Mm-hmm,
You're working with the farmer's market.
Mm-hmm.
And that's,
Okay.
okay. Do you have any other direct projects going on out there?
With the extension office?
Yes.
Bigger.
Bigger.
Yeah, nothing, I guess, concrete that I would like to present at this time, but I do meet regularly with the extension officer to talk about several things. One thing that we've partnered on is we're making a plan to go and visit certain ag businesses that we want to make sure coming out of last year's financials that certain ag businesses are doing okay and doing some retention and expansion efforts with those, such as the elevators in the county, that kind of thing. So that's something that's kind of on our docket to get into early this year, and a couple other projects as well that like I said, are not concrete yet, but we do meet regularly to explore how we can partner on that.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks.
Yep.
All right. Anything else for the good of the order? Thank you all. We are adjourned.